Have you ever seen something that shouldn't exist? Something so strange, so out of place, that your brain tries to explain it but can't? That's what happened to a boy one summer in Japan. And what he saw that day, people still whisper about. They call it the Kunauna. Some say it's a spirit that only appears when the air is too still, when the heat bends the light and the line between this world and the next starts to blur. But others, they say it's not a spirit at all. It's something much older, something that watches back. It began, like most legends do, with a moment of innocent curiosity. A boy visiting his grandparents in the countryside, quiet, peaceful, endless fields of green. You can almost picture it, the cicadas humming, the smell of wet soil, the heat shimmering in the distance. But that calm, it hides something, because that's when he noticed it. Something tall and white, standing at the edge of the rice fields, swaying side to side, like it was caught in a breeze. But there was no wind. At first he thought it was just a scarecrow. That's what anyone would think, right? But the way it moved, it wasn't jerky or stiff. It flowed, smooth, almost graceful, like a human. He squinted, but the sun was bright, and he couldn't make out the face. That's when he called his older brother over. Now, this is the part that always gives me chills. The brother grabs a pair of binoculars, just a kid being a kid, and the moment he looks through them, he freezes. Then his face changes. He lowers the binoculars slowly, like something inside him just broke. The younger boy asks, "What did you see?" But his brother doesn't answer. He just starts laughing, quiet at first, then louder, like something's taken over. When they got back home, the brother kept muttering nonsense, words that didn't sound like Japanese or any language at all. Their grandfather, hearing the story, went pale. He didn't ask for details. He just said, "Never look directly at the Kunauna." The boy asked why, but the old man's hands were shaking. He said, "It's not for us to understand. Watching it from afar is harmless, but once you try to see what it really is..." He paused, looking toward the fields. "That's when it sees you too. Wait for it, because this is where everything turns." A few days later, the brother vanished. No footprints, no sign of struggle, just gone. They searched the fields, the riverbanks, even the woods. Nothing. Some said he ran away, others said he was taken, but the grandfather knew. He told the younger boy to never go near that field again. And for years, he didn't. Until one summer, years later, curiosity got the better of him. He was older now, maybe 17, trying to convince himself it was all childhood imagination. So he went back. The rice was tall, the air still. He stood exactly where he had that day as a kid. Nothing, no movement, no sound. He laughed at himself and turned to leave. But then from the corner of his eye, he saw it. The same white figure, swaying, slowly, like it had been waiting all this time. Would you have looked away? Or would you have done what he did, taken one step closer? Comment below, because I know what most people would say. But in that moment, curiosity wins, every single time. He stepped forward, and with each step, it seemed to grow taller. The figure wasn't moving closer, he was. But the air around him got heavy, thick, like walking underwater. He blinked, and for a second, he thought he saw his brother's face flicker in the white haze. But then it was gone. He started to run, but something was off. The path back felt longer, the sound of his footsteps echoing like they were happening in someone else's head. And then, just before he reached the edge of the field, he heard it, a voice, faint, familiar, laughing. He turned. The figure was gone, but in the place where it had been, the rice bent outward, like something invisible was passing through. And then silence. When he told his grandfather what happened, the old man didn't speak for a long time. Finally, he said, "It's never just one. The Kunauna appears to those who already carry its shadow." What did he mean by that? No one knows. But people in that village still say, if you see it once, it's watching you forever. Now here's where things get really weird. Modern sightings still happen. Farmers in rural Japan report seeing a tall white figure during heat waves, always swaying, never walking. Some say it appears in mirrors or in the reflection of still water. and when they try to get closer, their vision distorts, like static in their mind. Scientists try to explain it as heat haze, dehydration, or mass hysteria. But there's a strange pattern. The people who claim to have seen it often disappear within a few days or lose their memory of what happened entirely. It makes you wonder, what if it's not a spirit or a ghost, but something else? Something that feeds on attention, like a mirror that only works when you stare too long. Maybe that's why the old man said never to look directly at it, because by trying to understand it, you're letting it in. Think about it. How many stories do we ignore every day because they sound too strange to be true? And what if those stories survive for a reason? Not as warnings from the past, but as traps. Maybe some legends don't want to be forgotten. Maybe they want to be found. Keep watching, because here's the part nobody talks about. The name Kunauna isn't written in any ancient text. It doesn't appear in folklore archives. The earliest mention was only a few decades ago on an online forum for urban legends. So where did it come from? Some say it began as a creepypasta story, but then people started claiming they'd seen it before they ever read about it. How do you explain that? Could the story itself be the carrier, like a virus that spreads through attention? Each person who hears about it imagines it, gives it form, and the more people talk about it, the stronger it becomes. So maybe the Kunauna isn't in Japan at all. Maybe it's right here, right now, spreading through screens, voices, and videos like this one. So if you've watched this far, congratulations. You've already made contact. Would you risk seeing it? Or will you pretend this was just another story? Because one day, when the air is still and the horizon shimmers, look out toward the distance. If you see something swaying where no wind blows, don't look too long. And before you scroll, hit subscribe. Not for me, but to stay safe. Because next week, we're uncovering another entity that might be closer to you than you think. Now tell me, what would you do if you saw it first?